Greetings, people. It's Jared here, Wolfgang One, back to do another Transformers review. Sorry about last week. A bit of a personal issue in my life, and I just thought to myself, do you know what? I can't be bothered to do a review. It can wait till next week. And so, 1 week later, here we are. So today, I'm going to be doing a review for Generation One Decepticon Pretender Stranglehold. Now, the reason I'm doing this one is because one, it's absolutely fucking ludicrous. One of the most ridiculous things I have ever witnessed. And I felt the need to share it with you. Sadly, however, this isn't going to be a very in-depth review because being a second generation Pretender, it is exceptionally limited in what it offers. So why don't we take a close look now, ladies and gentlemen. This is Decepticon Pretender Stranglehold. Okay, so here is Stranglehold in his basic Rhino mode. I think he's supposed to be a Rhino. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure what the fuck this is supposed to be. But this is him in his basic alt mode, right? So before we get really into this, let's have a look at some of the things the Stranglehold Stranglehold came with. Okay, so he comes with one small weapon for the robot mode. Okay, cast in yellow plastic, no discernible real detail there at all. He comes with this, which I guess is supposed to be a shield for the Pretender shell and also the back of his alt mode. He comes with one blaster for the Pretender shell and one helmet for the Pretender shell. And speaking of the Pretender shell, a word of warning to everyone. This is, I guess, Hasbro's one and only potential exploratory deep dive into the world of homoerotic representation. Because what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, if I just pan this camera back a little bit, is this. This is the Pretender shell, and it's really, I guess, someone on the design team, it splits apart much the same way as any Pretender shell does, but the second generation ones don't have a protective belt around the outside, anything like that. But this is, I guess, the one and only time anyone on the development team ever said, I wonder what it would be like if we was to cast a Pretender shell that just was all in all, just flat out, a massive handlebar moustache leather queen. And here we are. This is the result, ladies and gentlemen. This is the one and only time that Hasbro did this in the Pretender line. I don't recall ever seeing any other massive leather queens in I mean, to be fair, I mean, if it wasn't for the size of the Pretender shell, you could argue this could have been a Masters of the Universe figure, really, from Mattel. But and they were, and Masters of the Universe was all about gay representation, wasn't it? I mean, but there we are. At least that's what I took from it. So this is Stranglehold's Pretender shell, and yeah, he just kind of looks like, you know, when he's not fighting Autobots, you can find him down Soho, dancing to the sound of pounding techno for 12 hours. Really, there we are. There we are. That's Stranglehold's Pretender shell. Let's actually come onto the robot again, for what it's worth. This is him. Now, I mentioned this in my Bludgeon review a few years ago, where basically the Pretenders were scaled down massively, to the point now where they are about the same size as a Generation 1 Autobot Minibot. Okay, now the last time I compared Bludgeon to Windcharger, because I have him to hand, I'm comparing this to G1 Pipes. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. That is Stranglehold and Pipes together, comparison-wise. They're roughly about the same size. And they're roughly about the same height in robot mode as well. So the second generation Pretenders were basically a mini-bot in a Pretender shell. I do think that is incredibly fucking lazy. More, if you imagine how lazy the Pretenders were to begin with, right? There was only 4 normal-sized Pretenders in this line, and those were the classic Pretenders: Jazz, Starscream, Bumblebee, and Grimlock. And we all know what I think about Grimlock. The rest of them were all these fucking mini-bot sizes, and the Pretenders themselves were lazy as fuck in terms of their robotic depictions and their quote alt modes, end quote. And they went, how can we make these even lazier? I know, let's make them mini-bot style, which, you know, I have thoughts, and the thoughts are this is lazy as shit, right? So let's put his backpack on, right? So that's Stranglehold in his full art mode. If you want to give him his attack mode, put the gun just there, okay? And that is, you know, a bit wank, really. Because it's cast in two separate colours, like the robot mode is yellow and green, whatever detail is there is pretty much lost, really, which is a shame. Yeah, that's it. Articulation wise, I mean, the legs will go round, I think. No, they won't. Because of that backpack, they don't go around a full 360, but you know, the head moves up and down for transformation, the limbs move, but they're mostly for transformation purposes as well. And that is him. There's not really a lot to say about this. I would like to be a little bit more critical of it. I'd like to be able to deep dive into this figure a little bit. I can't because of what this is, right? Which is to say not a lot at all. There's nothing really to speak of about this. It's small. It's mildly offensive, I think, for however much you would have paid for it. It's definitely offensive for how much you pay for it now. I'm lucky in the sense that I've got Stranglehold complete apart from his instruction booklet. But yeah, this is not brilliant. Not brilliant. And it gets worse, ladies and gentlemen. It gets worse when you look at the transformation, which basically follows the Wind Charger Minibots almost to a degree transformation. But yeah, let's get onto that just so I can keep this review going. So take all this shit off, right? And then you want to fold out this bottom section just like that, and fold it out like that. Bring these up like that, so they're on the edge like that. Fold these ones backwards, i.e. to the front, and then finally snap back the rhino head like that, and then that right there is Stranglehold in his robot mode. The face is completely painted green, so you don't really get a lot of detail on that either. Yeah, for me, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work because of how small it is. These arms are a bit loose, actually. I'm pretty sure they're not supposed to do that. So I need to be very careful with this. You give his little robot his weapon, and this doesn't store anywhere on the robot mode that I've seen. So whatever. Yeah, articulation wise, the arms go up and around up to a point, and the legs will bend at the knee, but that's for transformation purposes anyway. Nothing in the head, nothing in the waist, nothing anywhere else. That is about as much fun as you're getting with this figure, okay? Such as it is. That's, yeah. But, well, I say that's about as much fun as you're going to get with a figure. It does go one stage further, ladies and gentlemen. So what we do is we bring in his massively gay pretender shell, just like this. Now, split it in half like that. The one cool thing I will say about this is it does have weapon storage in the leg just there, so you put his little gun just like that, and Stranglehold will fit just perfectly in there. You don't need to do anything with him at all. Just like that. Put him in there. Close the fucker up like you do with every pretender. Why is that not working? That's it. Move those legs back. Put the arms down. Snap him up. That's not working. Why is that not working? Ah, God. Talk amongst yourselves until I can work out what the fuck I've done with this. Oh, hang on. You might need to fold his legs back in. Right? Okay, let's see if that works. Put that in there. Put him in like this. Because apparently that made all the difference. Right? There we go. Then close up the pretender shell. Give him its accessories. So weapon, shield thing just there. Weapon in its hand. Helmet like that. Now he does look even more Masters of the Universe, but like he could go for another 6 hours on the dance floor at the same time. I'm sorry that I would say, cool, I really like this figure. This is bullshit. This is absolute fucking nonsense, right? And the fact that the handlebar moustache, weirdly enough, is such a defining feature of this Pretender shell that it kind of detracts from the Klingon sash thing just here, and the leather pants, and the leather boots, and the spiky leather, God knows what else is, and like it all of this doesn't look brilliant, right? But it's that handlebar moustache which just you immediately zone in on that, right? There's for some reason, right? And obviously he's got this weird machinery on the back which looks painful. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Generation 1 second Pretender incarnation Stranglehold. It's when all the Pretenders got scaled down. In fact, that's everything got scaled down. The Headmasters, the Target Masters, the Pretenders. It's like, I don't know, we can save money even more, and we can be even more shit, and this is the result. A bit of paint fucking on the knees that has seen better days. There's not a lot I can say about it. I wanted to be able to say more about this. But one, it's a piece of shit, right? So there's not a lot you can add to that. And two, I cannot take my eyes off that fucking moustache. Let's give the moustache a bit of love there, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. That is a formidable tash right there. That is exactly what it is. So thank you very much for watching this review. I was hoping to be able to go a little bit more in depth about that, but I didn't take into account that the figures were so shit that actually would be a limited option. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this review. This is Joe Gambay, also known as Wolfgang1, saying I'll be back next week with more reviews. I'm going to review something which isn't a total pile of shit. I'm going to review something that I've got boxed and complete, so that's going to be exciting. Until then, yeah, thanks for watching this, and thanks for watching Stranglehold. He's going off back down Soho now for a good night's clubbing, and I'm going to go and upload this review. So thank you very much for watching, and take care.